Hello and welcome to Mr. Adelman's fantastic geometry class. Today we're going to get started, and the first lesson we're going to talk about this year is what is referred to as undefined terms. Undefined terms refer to undefined terms because they can only be explained using examples or descriptions. In geometry, there are three undefined terms that we're going to talk about. Those are points, lines, and planes. I'm going to start at the largest one and move sort of backwards to the smallest one. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what a plane is. Some examples of planes, probably the easiest way to describe it, is for any common room, you have your walls, your floors, your ceilings. Those are all examples of planes. Even for those folks playing sports, your playing field, your soccer fields, your basketballs, courts, your ice rinks. These are all examples of planes. They're not perfect examples, but they are the best that we have. So what I'm going to talk about first is the model of what a plane looks like. You're going to see this in your geometry book. Basically, it is four lines that are slanted, and they're usually shaded in. So I'm going to shade this in with a marker, pencil. Okay. So this is an example of what a plane is going to look like. And then they're going to usually put some points in it, and how we name this is a couple different ways. There will be a script letter, so a uppercase cursive letter. Let's call this, we'll call it P for plane. Okay, so you would call this plane P, and you would do it in the script writing. The other way to do it is by points. And so they would have to give you at least 3 points, and they would label these. These would be labeled in uppercase non-script letters, so just regular capital letters. And you could call this either plane ABC or any combination of the three letters. So it could also be plane, let's say BAC, or plane CBA, or any combination of that. So a couple things we need to know about planes. That there is exactly one plane, through any 3 points. And so that is sort of the major aspects of what you need to know about a plane. A couple things I should point out. Notice that I did not combine the script letter with the regular uppercase letters. You cannot do that. You would either name it by that or a combination of those three. In any plane, there's an infinite number of points. So it's not just 3 points in a plane. There are a number that we cannot count in any plane. And a plane extends in 2 directions. If you think of a movie screen, if you go to a regular movie screen, it goes in 2 directions. That's why it's a 2-dimensional movie. If that extended on forever and ever in both directions, that would be an example of a plane. So what that brings us to is our next undefined term, which is a line. Now, if you think about, if you look around the room that you're sitting in right now, and you find the wall and the ceiling, those meet at the top of the wall and the ceiling. And what they form when they touch each other is a line. So some examples of lines. I like to say that it's the intersection. Let's say the intersection of 2 walls. So it's the corner. If you look over at the corner, that makes a line. But you also see lines. You see them on roads, again on sports fields. And these are all just examples of lines, because in geometry, technically, a line goes on for an indefinite amount of time. So let's draw a picture of what a line would look like. Okay. So a line is basically what you would think of. It is a straight line. And we indicate that it goes on for an indefinite amount of time by these arrows. So you know that it's a line. And how do we name a line? There are a couple ways. One, so if you remember in the plane, if I can just go back down in the plane, I had an uppercase P to represent that it was a plane. For a line, the script letter would be a lowercase. So I'm going to draw a lowercase n. And so we would just call this line n. The other way we could name this is by any 2 points. And just like on the plane that's made up of an infinite number of points, so is the line. It's really just a connection of points that all go in a line. So let's see, ABC. We'll call this DE. So there are 2 ways we can name this. Either line DE, or the symbol that we'll use most of the time is DE with a line over it. Okay, so something that you need to know about this is that there is exactly one line that goes through any 2 points. And then finally, the last thing we need to talk about is the intersection of 2 lines. And if you think about on your, take for instance your sports fields, if you think of, let's take a soccer field for instance, if you look at the end line and the side line and where they intersection at that corner, that intersection is actually an example of a point. Now, a point is simply a location. We might do some activities this year that talk about our GPS coordinates, and that's just a point on the Earth that intersect between latitude and longitude. So let's talk about how we represent a point in this class and in this book. So all we're going to do is make a dot with the letter P. However, even though we can see this point in actuality, you can't see a point. It's really just some location. And the way we would name this is we would just call this point P. There's really no other way. And it's always a capital letter. Make sure you're not giving me a lowercase letter to represent a P. And one thing you should know about this, that a point has no size or shape. Again, it is just a location. So that is the first thing we need to learn about this section. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me either in class or on the blog. Thank you very much, and we'll see you real soon. Goodbye.